Woohoo!
Hi guys, welcome to the Me series. We have Selsa
Hey!
Hey, I'm back.
and we have Ranukka Singham.
Hello,
So
hello.
excited to have Ranukka here today because
Yay.
she does a very interesting aspect of branding. Okay, and she looks at image. And I mean, I'm not going to talk any further about this because I think the best person to talk about this is her. So before we go into asking her to tell us about herself, be talking about this journey, right? I want her to talk to us about an early experience that, or a moment, right, in time that brought her to start doing this whole image consulting. Like what was that moment? What
Oh,
was that experience that actually brought you to this moment where now you're doing image consulting and tell us about yourself.
right.
Go ahead, Ranu.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Sharon and Selson, for having me today. I will definitely do my best in answering any questions that you guys have. But just a little bit about me. I do image and branding, and my programs are very data driven. So I love numbers and I love image. So it's a very weird combination, I know. But that's how I really run my programs. I focus a lot on employee branding as well as individuals, particularly professionals. I've helped about 8,000 individuals throughout my career in this aspect of branding and image. And the fun fact that I have is that I am actually an optometrist by profession. So I started my career as an optometrist and spent 10 years in that career before venturing out on my own. So I guess it's a very interesting question that a lot of people ask me, right? Like from optometry to image, how did that even happen? And I think the story to that is really about the fact that sorry to those who are optometrists in as viewers. I didn't really have that much interest in the subject, but I did it to please my parents, like many Asian kids do, right? So, but very very early on in my life, I kind of already knew that I love transformation. I don't know why I love makeovers as a kid. I used to do that with my mom, my family members, my cousins, and I think I kept that part of my passion in me for a very long time until there was one part of my career where I was privileged to be sent by my company for a image and grooming class. And so when I was listening to this lady from Singapore talking about it, I realized that, oh my God, that is exactly what I love doing. I think this is amazing. And I went and researched about it. I got recertified into image, and the rest is history. So here I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lovely story. And
Interesting.
yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's amazing, right? A lot of guests that we've spoken to, like during our almost graduate show the last show that we had
Yeah.
Sharvin on board, and what he's doing currently and what he studied for, like he studied engineering and he's working in IBM now. So
Ah,
it's very interesting how our path, right, in life and our journey actually doesn't move exactly as you imagine it to be, right? Oh, you study this, then this
yeah.
is what you do, and a lot of it is
Yeah.
led by passion. So
Right.
one of the most interesting things I found about Ranuka, right? So just a bit of a backstory how I found Ranuka Singham. Okay, I've never met her before. Like I
We
mean,
found each
personally,
other.
yes, we found each other on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So when MCO happened, I think the first few weeks, right, Ranuka did a post, and I think she was inviting people to join her on her calls, right? I think a 15 or
Yeah.
30-minute call. I can't remember how long. Of course, I'm so sorry. It took up a lot more than given time.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
speaking to you anyways. I enjoyed
So
speaking to
we had
you.
this long conversation, and I have to thank Bhavani because if not for
Yeah.
Bhavani, I would never have found her because she tagged her and talked about her experience, and I completely respect Bhavani. And I was thinking, yeah, if Bhavani thinks she's good, then she must be really good. So I got on a call with her, and one of the most interesting things I thought, that you do is not just about the image branding, but how you kind of link color and personality. And so there's no way I can go without asking you this question, right?
Right.
What color do you think represents Ranuka Singham? The best, and why?
Oh, all
And what
right.
does this particular color have to do with your image?
Right. Okay. So first things first, I want to really have a shout out here to Bhavani. I thank you so much for really opening this door for me. And I mean, I did not expect her to also like share her experience on her content. So it's really, really great. I'm so thankful. And same with you as well, Cheryl. Like, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak. Speaking of color, right? I think my color is here. So that's why like a lot of people say like, oh my God, why is all your posts, your videos with this particular blue background? I just want to say my whole house is blue. It's like I live in an aquarium, right? That's why I always tell people. And blue is my color. It is my company brand as well, and the reason why I love this color is because it has a very calming personality to it. Not necessarily reflecting my true self. I think I'm very I wouldn't say hot-headed, but I'm very spontaneous, very fiery, right? But a lot of times I feel like I need to have a certain balance, which is why blue kind of marries that in. So I think that's the reason why a lot of times you see me in either my background being blue or I'm in blue, you know. So it's kind of just the color that I look to as a balance to my really fiery side. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Ooh.
So that was
Just to
that's
share with
just
you,
really
my
the
favorite
reason.
color is also blue.
Really? Oh, high five.
Yay!
So when we look at colors, like I said, right, that's why I was so excited to talk to you about this, because I felt that you really were able to look at my personality and also bring that out in terms of colors, right? And how we look.
Yeah,
And you see, talking about all these colors, right? Usually when we hear a lot of advice from branding or image gurus, especially when it comes to professional, like what is professional? I remember when I was young, right? I was
yeah.
told, because I am a very loud person. I think you can see, just here you can see that loudness, right? And I
Yeah.
was always told, like, Cheryl, don't wear bright colors, just go dull, blue, brown, black, grays, that's the right color for you. And you hear a
Wow.
lot
Okay.
of them talking about that, a lot of conservative colors, or even if you have any other colors like blue, it's conservative. And when
Right.
we're talking about choosing a profile image for professional sites like LinkedIn, right? Or even when we are talking about attending interviews and things like that, should we stick to these conservative colors? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay. All right. First thing first. No disrespect to any image consultants who preach this way. I think you must have your reasons. But for me, right, I think the fact is right now, as you can see, the trend currently our workforce is consist a major part of it is millennials and Gen Zs, right? So these are the categories which I believe all of us, the three of us, fall into right now, right? Where you kind of value a sense of individuality. You want to have a sense
Yeah.
of personality in what you wear. Having the dress code of professional, really professional dressing, just it just feels like it is boring to a lot of these individuals. So I think that's why for me, I oftentimes encourage injecting your personality in terms of colors, prints, whichever that you feel fitting to what you want to project out to people, right? But having said that, right, I think the reason why a lot of times when we are in uni or sometimes even our lecturers tell us like, oh, going for an interview, right, wear black, white, blue, gray, pump, just go with that, right? So I think the reason why there was this kind of tips is really because I think if you talk about quick, fast tips that are like you will not go wrong with it. I
The
probably think that that's why,
safer kind of,
yeah, the
yeah.
safer options. I think that's
Yeah.
why those advice was given. But in this age, right, like just now, earlier on, I was also in another show. We spoke about this as well. Like when you're in an interview or when you're going for a face-to-face meeting, or even in terms of your profile picture on your LinkedIn, right? I think it's really important to inject some personality into it because you do not want to blend to the background or you do not want to be
Yeah.
forgettable. Because
Yeah.
let's say if you're going
True.
for an interview, one day the hiring manager speaks to 10 people and
Yeah.
everyone wears black, white, brown, gray, whatever, right? Like I cannot remember who is who. I
Yeah.
will remember the one, right, that comes in, right, looking different in a
Yeah.
very tasteful way. The key is
Yeah.
tasteful, yeah, not like
Yeah.
different in like, okay, wow, like yeah, I mean in sense of dressing, right? Bad publicity is not good publicity, yeah. So
Same concept,
Actually, to be
right?
honest, this is something that I usually share with my students as well when it comes to dress code for interview. I mean, maybe it's also because of the line of in field that we are teaching, because I was teaching more
right,
towards in mass comm, same with Cheryl. So usually I told
yeah.
my students that you do know that blazers come with many other colors besides black, right?
Yes, yes,
I said,
yes. Oh my
but
goodness.
try another color. My gosh, it's like,
Yeah,
you can go like what, H&M or whatever. They have many
I
colors of
know.
choices, that blazers
You
that they
know,
can just wear.
yeah, like sometimes if I speak to university students and they ask me, okay,
Yeah.
it's my very first time buying a blazer, should I buy black? Or they would give me a statement like, I will buy black. I'm like, I will
Yeah.
not allow you to waste that money, okay? Um because I think one of the
Black
things is,
blazer.
yeah,
My first blazer that I bought was
all
black
of
blazer.
us, I think all of us had that
Yeah.
kind of first experience, right? The first blazer you think of like,
Experience.
no-brainer, buy black. But
Yeah.
black is
Yes.
oftentimes associated with things like it's too dull. It's like a
Formal.
funeral
Yeah.
color,
Yeah.
or it looks like your wait staff. It's very the color is it right. So if you want to go for something darker, it is maybe dark blue would be a good option instead
Mm.
of black.
Navy blue.
Um,
Mm.
Are you
yeah, or
saying that
yeah,
blue
navy
is your
blue.
favorite color?
No, no,
Hmm?
no, no, no. Maybe it's a bias. Yeah,
Hey,
Sorry,
there's
I
yeah,
maybe a lot of things as well. Actually, even if you see like this magenta, dark red is also possible as well. But I always
yeah,
tell
yeah,
my students that, as mass comm, I think you should dress differently because it
yes.
also enhances your creativity
yeah,
perception as well. So,
And it
but a
yeah.
talks
lot of
about your
times,
brand, right,
maybe,
Ranuka?
yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I said it talks about your brand as well, right? Like the
Yes,
color
yes.
that
Yeah.
you
And it
use.
speaks up for your
Yeah.
identity as well. Yeah.
Yeah, actually speaking
Yeah.
of that, right, I also want to kind of further bring this into notion about like industries, right? Because that's also one of the most common things I hear when I say that, okay, bring some color, bring some prints into your dressing. Then some people tell me like, okay, if you're in the creative industry, why not, right? Which is mass comm or anything to do with art, right? But I want to
Yeah.
just really break that kind of normal culture that we have in terms of industry level, because even today if you're going for an interview in an engineering firm or like it's banking, it's very conservative, right? What's wrong with a little bit of color? I'm not asking you to wear all orange or all pink. I'm asking you to
Yeah.
just have a little bit of accentuation of color, just to give you a bit of personality and to make you a bit more memorable. Yeah,
Mm.
remember, humans are very visual. Like when you
Yeah.
go for
Yeah.
something like an interview or anything like that, right? Like you want to really stand out again, tastefully, with a bit of color. I don't think that's anything wrong with that. So I feel industry, yes, mass comm for sure. I mean, like if any industry were to go creative, obviously it's you guys. But I'm just saying the
Yeah.
other industries, like
Why
maybe
not,
our
right?
listeners, yeah, who are watching, tuning in right now. If you're from different fields, like if you're studying medicine, I mean, why not? That's what I think.
True,
So
true, true.
Ashwina, one of our audiences says we usually just opt for black as the most safest and
Oh,
and I completely agree with her. Like I mean, when I was a student going to the industry, right, and my internship was in Exxon Mobil, so it's an oil and gas company, very corporate, and I bought that black blazer.
black. Yeah, yeah, I know. Actually, to this statement, right, I just want to share a very interesting thought when it comes to black. So a lot of people, men and women alike, always feel like, okay, let's buy black or let's go with black. It's the safest color. But I also want to share with you,
Mm-mm.
it's probably the hardest color to carry. Why? Because when you wear black
Mm.
and you do not do anything, you don't wear makeup, you're plain face, the color, right, when it is reflected to your skin tone on your face, dulls you down. Which is why I always tell people, right,
Oh.
if you like to wear black a lot, or if you're wearing black and maybe sometimes the material itself doesn't help, maybe it's non-reflective, it's cotton, right? All of these things added together, it makes it super like non-reflective and it dulls you down. So like
Mm.
we were talking
Construct,
about
right?
this, yeah, correct. So I mean, like for some of us, like even for me, even as an image consultant, I don't really like wearing makeup a lot every day on a day-to-day basis. So I tend to wear colors that are a little bit more brighter so that I don't really have to fix so much on my face. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think those are like
Ah.
very important to take pay attention to. What are the colors that you're actually wearing, especially on your top nearest to your face? That's something I always tell people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's something that actually I do not know. Maybe it's just myself, lah. The way that I dresses. Usually, if I want to wear black, right, I don't wear full black. I will
Right.
at least have a different color with black. I do not know whether it helps. I don't think it does because you say
Mm.
it's the nearest to your face, right? So maybe
Yeah.
that
So
doesn't help, lah.
correct. So I think it's also depending on where exactly are you matching that black and some other colors. So example, right,
Mm-mm.
Xiaosan, I've never seen
Mm.
you physically before, but let me
Yep.
assume you're wearing a light color pants with a black top, right? So when you're
Ah,
standing
yes,
up, right, you can imagine
yes,
that it's black here and it's light
yes.
here. There is a cut
Correct.
in your silhouette already. So essentially, you
Uh-huh.
look shorter right now because it is no longer a whole length of silhouette. Yeah. So you also want to
Oh.
understand, right, when it comes to color and cut, right, you want to know where exactly are you wearing the color difference,
Yes.
where is the cut, so that it kind of accentuates what you already have. Yeah, not
I
saying that being
see.
That's an important point for a shorty like me, especially.
yeah.
Yeah, it's same like me as well
Already
because that's
short
what I
and then you
usually
cut
wear.
yourself further.
No, but
Oh,
because that's what I
Yeah,
usually wear. Usually, I'll wear a black top. I'll wear a black top. Usually, it's like a button-down shirt. That's my normal, my black top, and then I'll have a gray pants.
Okay.
and then
But
I'll wear a black shoe. So like you said, it
you
just
see,
crops.
there's
I
a
mean, it just
color,
crops at that
yeah.
side.
So there's
Yes, yes,
definitely a lot of color differentiations there. But I would say gray,
yeah.
it also depends on what kind of shades of gray. If you're saying dark gray, then at least the contrast between that dark gray and your black top is not so high. So it's not that
Mm,
bad. I mean, if I can really
okay.
like force out the comment here,
Envision which
probably it's
kind of
not.
envision which
Yeah.
kind of grey lah. But I get your point lah. Okay, that's something to take
Yeah.
note of. Because I'm also pretty short as well. I don't think I want to make myself look
Really?
any shorter. Okay, not as short as Cheryl, but also pretty short lah.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel very good right now.
Shots were fired. Shots were fired.
It's okay, it's okay.
The Asian type,
We stay
Asian
younger
type.
longer. Not the best for the education industry, but still we stay younger.
Fun size, fun size, fun
So
size.
one thing I really want to talk about is like I think a day or two ago, Ranuka
Yeah.
actually posted a TikTok video. I don't know whether it was one of her first, but is one of
It's
the
my
first that
second.
I watched. Your second, okay, that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. So she posted a very very interesting, like you see Bollywood movies where people come in with different colors, like different scenes. So she had one of these videos that you guys really should check out. I'm going to share her LinkedIn account so you can actually
Oh,
go and
thank
check
you.
that video. All right, it had
Mhm.
like different options, right? Contrast, use of patterns, different colors, and how to kind of match like a skirt with a flowy.
Yeah.
It was just awesome. I thought how you kind of put that together, right?
Oh,
And
thank you.
when we look at that, right, do you think, because you talked about millennials and Gen Zs, right? Do you think that this only applies to those of us that are millennials or Gen Zs? What about the
Ah.
older working professionals? Is it okay if they too take that advice?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think whatever that I was sharing was really for everyone. But I think the reason why I kind of narrowed into millennials and Gen Zs is because I felt that that's one of the most common complaints I get. You know what I mean? Like when they see dress code policy, that oh my god, like why do we have to dress this way? Why this? Can't I just
Yeah.
dress like Mark Zuckerberg? I just want to wear that. I'm so hip. So like I always tell them like why though? What
Yeah.
is your biggest problem when it comes to that? And then they always feel like it seems very robotic. It seems very like
Mm.
it's very molded like everybody looks the
Like a
same.
cookie cutter kind of thing lah.
Yeah, it's like a cookie cutter
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I always say that why not incorporate these kind of things like color, print,
Mm.
or like example, like one of the outfit I was using was a jumpsuit, right? Like instead of using a skirt, a dress, you can always have a jumpsuit. It looks stylish at the same time, still
Formal
appropriate.
as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I love it. I remember
yeah.
I wore a green jumpsuit. Do you remember,
Yeah, yeah,
Sasa?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You look good in jumpsuit
Yes.
actually,
And it
and a
made
lot
me
of people
Everyone
have
looks
this.
good in jumpsuits. I feel like everyone should own like at least 2 to 3 sets of jumpsuits. I think it's a staple. I always say it's a staple in any woman's wardrobe because it's a no brainer, right? Just wear it on, wear heels, done. You already look very dressed up.
Note
So
to self: I need to buy jumpsuit then.
yes.
But it's so hard to find, though. I really find it hard to
No, but
find.
actually, Cheryl, you look for even a lot of people's perception is just because you're short doesn't mean
Yeah,
that you cannot pull off a jumpsuit.
Oh,
Actually,
I
I
love
think
a
it actually
jumpsuit. It makes you look
lengthens
longer.
your
Yes, it does
yeah,
lengthen your
yeah.
look a lot more. I think that's why, like for me, I'm not super duper tall, but a lot of people seem to always tell me like, "Oh my God, you're so tall," and I always tell them it's just the tricks of how I wear my clothes that make me look that
Mm,
way. So I
yeah,
always,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm always in clothes that make my legs look super long, and that's how I look very tall.
Mm,
But yeah, that's
mm,
that's just a few ways of doing it.
mm.
But yeah. So okay, I see a question here. Do you want me to
Yeah.
answer it immediately? Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
how?
yeah, why not?
to be more
Kyria
confident.
Sulaiman, I believe she's from LinkedIn, yeah? She says, how to be more confident dressing in new colors that is out of your comfort zone.
All right.
Mm.
So I think I have 2 points here when it comes to this question. One is why are you actually wanting to dress in these new colors? I think have that why in your mind so that it kind of also pushes you in some ways. Because like example, some people tell me that the reason why right now I incorporate orange into my dress is because I want to be seen as looking more cheerful. Okay, so
Mm.
there's a why there, right? Then great. Okay. But the next thing is that let's say this is a color that you're really not used to. Example, right now we are asking Xiaosan to have orange in her wardrobe, not
Oh
something
yes,
she's
I
always
think
in,
that's
right?
something that's something that she really wants
I
me to
know.
put in my wardrobe.
Yeah. So having orange is probably not something Xiaosan is used
Yes,
to or comfortable. So
yes,
like start
yes.
small, start very
Okay,
small. I think as small as earrings. Let's do that
okay.
first. and then slowly go
Okay.
into like maybe a camisole with a blazer, and then go big. So I think small to big is easy. Same goes with sometimes patterns, right? Like some people ask me like, because sometimes you see me in animal prints. I love animal
Yes.
prints. This is one of my
Okay.
things.
Okay, that's the
And
opposite of me.
yeah, so people ask me like, oh man, animal prints are so tacky. How do you dress them up? And I always say like,
Yes.
start small lah. Start with your pair
Yeah.
of shoes or like earrings. Start small, then see how you feel. Then go big lah. Yeah. I hope
I
that
think that's a
answers
good
it.
Yeah, I think that's a good tip as well, because starting small will not make you feel very conscious about, the the color that you are actually putting in on yourself. So it doesn't
Yeah,
make it,
yeah.
because it shows as well from your gestures and your postures. Like, for
Yes.
example, if you ask me to really don on a orange colored dress, right, you probably see me fidgeting a lot. I'll probably,
Yeah,
like, trying to do this because I'm feeling like this looks too out there, and like everyone can see me, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe
Or
starting small will help you. Yeah.
correct. Or you feel,
Miss Yi, there is a comment for you down there.
oh, Missy, let's change our wardrobe colors. Okay. Yes.
Ashvina, I think you probably need to tone down. I probably need to tone up, lah, Ashvina. I think that was the suggestion you're trying to ask us to change, is it?
Balance, yeah, balance for the both of
Balance,
you.
balance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we are going to move. We're going to move into the next section, and this is a new section for us that I thought would be awesome to actually get Ranuka to actually start it off for us, officiate the first time we do this.
Oh,
And I think
okay,
it's
okay.
very interesting. This is the first time we're doing it because I feel in the industry that you're in, image consulting, right? There is a lot of myths as well. There's a lot of truths that people don't know which is which. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would love if you can address some of it.
All
So
right.
I'm going to show the audience as well the myth or truth, and I want you to give us your expert advice on what you think is a myth or what is a truth, or if you think
Okay, I am nervous here.
depends.
Okay.
Myth or truth,
Okay.
image consulting is a new profession.
Okay. Before I answer the myth of truth, I want to just do a disclaimer. This is my opinion. I don't represent I don't represent the image
Yeah,
consultant
sure.
industry. It's just me. Yeah. And yeah, I just want everyone to have that in mind. Yeah. Okay. So I just don't want any image consultants to, you know,
Come and
come
bombard
for
us and
me.
say,
Hashtag
what
my
is this?
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Image consultants are not exactly a new profession, but I think right now with the whole fact of us starting to be more visible on social media platforms, or the fact that as we as us as a community start going towards understanding a sense of individuality when it comes to dressing, that's where I realized image consultants, right, started having a little bit more name to it lah. I think in Malaysia there's quite a number of them. But
Yeah.
here's one thing that I also want to kind of highlight. Image consultant is kind of just like engineers. There's mechanical, there's chemical, there's
Yes.
civil. There's so many types,
Electrical.
right?
Yeah.
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 So like even for image consultants, there's many types of us. Like for me, I focus a lot on corporate. That's just my thing. I am more of the boring image consultants. There are some that go for there are some who are stylists. They are more glamorous, I think. Some who focus on personal more than group. So I think there's just so much mixture of it.
Different
Yeah,
dimensions.
correct. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a new profession. It's just that right now it has been getting a bit more visibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's true, the visibility, because at my time when I was looking for job
Yeah.
hunting as well, I've seen actually there are image consultants existingly there, but like what
Yeah.
Ranuka said, is the visibility, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bigger
Yeah,
now, I think, and more
because
people
of the
are
social
aware of
media.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah.
Completely.
Okay,
So
next.
this is one of my favorites because I think this is something that a lot of people think. So I don't know
Okay.
what you think about it, or at least I
Okay.
have an idea. So image consulting is for women, men don't need
Ah,
AA. So I don't know if we
Okay.
have any men in the house
ooh,
today.
This is such a myth. Um, Interestingly, right? I don't know whether I've actually put it in my LinkedIn or not. I'm actually a certified men's styling consultant. So
ooh.
I specialize in men. And when it comes to their style, their image and brand and whatnot. Not that I don't do women. I do mostly women, but I also do men as well. And let me tell you this. I think for men, majority of them that I meet as clients always tell me that they were forced into it lah. Okay, there's always like, someone got me in it, someone paid for me, and all that, right? But as I ask them more, and as we start being, a bit more candid, I realized that they themselves also realize they need it, but I guess it's just a social stigma, right? It's not a very common thing, and people always relate being metrosexual to being to your sexual preference, those kind of things, which I think is so wrong. I think I respect men who take the time to groom themselves to look good. I think when you make that effort to show up and get turned up, right? I feel that you really respect the environment that you're in and the people that you're
Yeah.
interacting with. So telling me that you don't know how to dress up, or like it's not manly to look a certain way, is really I I don't know what else to say. I think it's really just we're in year 2020 right now, lah. Okay, please stop being so old fashioned. Yeah.
So
Which I
listen,
kind of
guys,
agree as
stop being
well.
old-fashioned. So it's not
Yeah,
just
I
for
kind of
women.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
I
that's
think
such
really
a
a lot of men really needs the kind of grooming advice in terms. I would say that lah. Seriously, I think
yeah.
they do need lah. They do need some advice in it actually.
Yeah, but and I think it's also for me at this point to use this platform to kind of tell men out there, like, it is completely acceptable if you need help in learning how to groom yourself or learning how to dress better. It's completely acceptable. Nobody's going to make fun of you, because I think what I realized in sometimes group settings, whenever companies get me to come in and talk to their employees, I realize when it comes to the topic of dressing up and all that, when it comes for men, all guys is like, oh my god, no, that's not for me, so shy and all that, right? And I feel like, why though? Like, you're so privileged to be able to learn these kind of skills and techniques to make yourself better, right? Be the best version of yourself. Why not just take that opportunity and learn? Just be open about it, lah. Yeah.
I have a question, Raduka. I want to ask:
Yeah.
is it better? I've heard before people say that for men, right, it's better to have a tailor-made, customized suit for them to wear in comparison to just buy off the rack. Is it
Oh,
true?
okay. I think it's a yes and no. So why I
Mm-hmm.
say so is that because for men, right, men's body type, if you're able to find something that's ready made, very lucky for you. But if
Mm.
not, right, the other option is always to have it bespoke. That means you buy it ready made and you get it altered. So I think
Oh.
for men, right, whenever I talk to men, I always tell them, right, the most important thing that you have to have at the back of your pocket is a good tailor, someone that's
Mm.
able to help you alter things. Because example, if you're a guy but you're short and you have a
Mm.
big tummy, so
Mm.
essentially you're wearing a shirt that is bigger for you, but here the shoulder
Yep.
seams here will drop, right?
Yes.
So you
Yes.
need a tailor to really help you to cup it, to trim it in here, make it a little bit more form fitting in certain areas. So I think most
Mm.
guys I see would require it to be bespoke, if not tailor made. Yeah, so it really,
Mm.
I think that's one of the things that men, you have to have that expectation. Because sometimes, right, when I speak to male clients, if they can't find something off the rack that looks good on them, then they feel like, oh, is it me? Is my body weird? And I always tell them, no, it's not your body's weird. It's just how it is, lah. Um,
Yeah.
just be
No, because
ready for that.
I guess for them they are wondering how come women can always get things off the rack and just wear it. Like how come the guys is so difficult for them? Maybe that's the kind. But I do believe that
Don't
actually
agree
Yeah,
with that. I don't get things off the rack so
an
easily.
altered suit actually makes them look better because it feels like it's
yeah,
fitted for them, right? Compared to
yes,
like off
yes,
the rack and then you look a bit like slouchy and stuff. I think yeah, I kind
yeah.
of agree to it.
I think when it comes to men's clothing, right, I can talk until tomorrow. Like, I have so many things to say. I think especially when I have observations of guys in generally in Malaysia, I mean, just to put a long story short, I see two extremities here. I see men who wear oversized suits, and I see men who wear super tight suits or shirt or whatever. So it's an extremity I see,
Pants.
Super
or
tight
pants.
pants. We see it all the
Yeah.
time.
So it's just these two things that I think they have their reasons why they fall in these extremities, but I have my reasons why you should not be in these extremities. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe it's a topic for another day, but I think,
Yes.
yeah, to this statement, for sure, men do need it as well, and men need to be more open about it. Yeah,
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
So next one.
yeah.
Only celebrities, rich and famous hire image consultants. So like
Wow.
me and you
Oh,
don't need it. What do you think about that?
I
Are
would
your
like to say
clientele
it's a
all rich
myth.
and famous?
Oh no, I mean, wait, that's also a loaded question. Are they rich and famous? Maybe they're rich and famous in their own terms, I
Yeah.
guess. But what I'm trying to say is that not all my clients are celebrities lah. Okay, let's just put it that way. And yeah, it's something that, you know, you're right. I oftentimes hear a lot of people who approach me and ask me about what I do, what's my packages like, and at the end of the day, they always say that, you know, I always thought this is something that celebrities would go for. It sounds to me like what image consultants do it's very glamorous, it's very style, it's very, you know, like they associate it to, like, you know, how do I look Asia. I think, you know, there was a show previously, remember, in Astro AXN, right, where they take someone and then they transform 360 into the other person, you know what I mean? So a lot of them think this is what we do, and I often say that, yeah, there are image consultants that focus primarily on celebrities. This is what we say, they live a glamour lifestyle, right, very glamorous, good for them. I think you need a certain skill sets to really hone this kind of clientele. For me, on the other hand, my passion lies in corporate or professionals, especially middle management going up. For me, I always feel like my experience previously being in, you know, corporate and whatnot, right, I oftentimes do see that how really branding yourself right is able to propel your career so much faster. And that's what I always aspire to do. I want to help people to be able to kind of, you know, ensure that their perception matches their substance, which is what the tagline of my company is lah, matching your substance and your perception.
That's very interesting. You know,
Yeah,
perception
Yeah.
yeah.
matches your substance. I think that's an
Yes.
amazing thing, and I think a lot of people need to sit and think about that, right? Does the
Yes.
perception people have of us actually match who we are? And
Yeah.
sometimes we kind of undersell
Yeah.
ourselves because
Do
of
we
the perception
reflect
people have.
ourselves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
true.
coming to the next one, right, which I feel is something that everybody kind of thinks image consulting is all about most of the time anyway. It's all about
Oh,
the clothes.
you know
Really,
what?
right?
Man, I don't know where to even begin with this, right? I think of course, obviously this is a myth lah, right? But I think the most common thing that I oftentimes hear people talk about image is that it's grooming. So I think that
Mm.
kind of irks me a little bit because, like, you know, we're so much more than that. I think grooming is probably a very small part of what image consultants do. But then again, there are also image consultants that focus a lot on grooming, meaning to say their forte is helping you learn how to do makeup or hair, right? Fine with that. But it's not really what all of us do. I think, example, maybe I speak for myself. My definition of image consulting, or what I do, is actually I cover three aspects, which is appearance, behavior, and communication. So I actually
Mhm.
teach these three aspects of things. I teach on business etiquette. I teach on, you know, a lot of rapport building, anything that really hones you as a holistic person. I don't just make you look good on the outside. I also try to help you in terms of the inside, so that, you know, you look good. You go into a meeting, the minute you open your mouth, everyone's like, "Oh man, just keep quiet." I don't want that to happen, right? So,
So that's where the
so no,
substance
yeah.
part comes in, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people think that it's a very superficial profession. Like, oh, image consulting, you basically do grooming, you basically help people transform their clothes. And I always say, like, yeah, yes, but no. You know, like, I think it's really much more than that. And I feel like people should start giving us more credit in what we do rather than just loop us into like grooming, you know. It's much more than that, definitely.
Okay, so we have the
Yeah.
last one.
Okay.
Image consulting is all about changing your whole wardrobe.
If that's what you want, I guess.
Look at your son's face. It's like, no.
Right. Again, speaking for myself, I think it's always, I guess, again, this question is probably because of a lot of TV shows we see, right? Like, example, like I mentioned just now, How Do I Look Asia? Or right now you see Queer Eye. There's also something on
Eye.
Netflix that, yeah,
Yes.
that has that kind of element to it.
Yeah.
I think to a certain extent, there is a change in your wardrobe when it comes to the appearance part, right? The clothing we're talking about here. But for me, I think it's also important to look through the person's wardrobe and understand what the essence of this person is, and to kind of help you kind of extend your wardrobe from there, rather than tell you like, Xiao San, today, right, please throw everything you have in your wardrobe. Tomorrow, we have to fill in new things in. I think that's a bit
I'll
too
be,
drastic for me.
I'll be
Yeah.
probably telling her, I'll be probably telling you that, but what am I going to wear tonight then? You can't throw everything out today.
But
Yeah.
it's tough as well, right? Psychologically, if you expect people to, like, it's expecting me to change in like a day, like throw everything about you and just and it's hard for people as well, right,
Yeah.
psychologically, to make that change,
Yeah.
like, because you were saying earlier that we should slowly introduce things. I mean, I come from a background that I just wanted to wear black and nothing else, and then suddenly,
Right.
over a period of time, suddenly I started wearing colors like orange, which is very weird, right? But I started like that as well. It was with earrings, I started wearing orange. I
Yeah.
still don't really have
Small.
much solid orange, like I don't really have many orange tops. I think I don't
Right.
have at all, actually. Just maybe cardigans and things like that. So I think it's very true what you say about adding little by little, and I
Yeah.
think
Start
changing
small.
your whole wardrobe is tough because it's like
Yeah.
culture
Don't
shock.
overwhelm yourself. Yeah, don't overwhelm yourself with this. I mean, the entire process of really, transforming yourself in terms of your image and brand has to come from a positive point of view. You have to enjoy the process. So like if it's not for you to change your whole wardrobe, then don't do it. But again, the reason why you see these things happening on the TV is it's just really for entertainment purposes. It's more the impact is more wow, right? Like, oh, the whole closet they threw it away, in came a new one. So I think that's just the reason to it lah.
Also because
Oh,
thinking about the financial part as well, also you'll be a
Oh
bit,
yes,
heartbroken, isn't it? Yeah.
yes. Oh hi, Lokesh.
Yes.
so we have finished the myths and truth section. Thank you very much for participating. All right.
Yes,
You've kind of cleared some of our misconception as well as some of the things we were not so sure about. Okay. And I think it's very interesting the way you look at it as well, because you don't just look at it from your perspective, but also like what is happening out there. So you just gave us a very good understanding. And I want to kind
mm,
of bring it to what you talked about earlier, right? You said
right,
make sure your perception matches your substance. And you said that is kind of your tagline as well, right, for your
right,
company. So
right,
bringing back to our next question, okay, before
right.
we do the live profiling, okay, how important is it to bridge the gap between who you are, how you are perceived, and how you want to be perceived going forward? How do
Mm,
we do that? Especially in a platform like LinkedIn, right, which is for professionals,
mm,
right? How do we
right.
bridge that gap? Because we're talking about perception and talking about substance. So sometimes, there are a lot of people who don't even know who they are to begin with.
Yeah,
Okay. And some of us maybe we know who we are, but how are we perceived? We might not be so sure about that. And how do we
right,
have all of this together to kind of build that brand, build who we are, from that branding perspective, brand you, right? How do we
right,
do that?
right. I think it's really important. Again, you're right. It's also just now the point that you mentioned. Some people don't even know who they are, right? And I think this is maybe a very good exercise for them to kind of use this timing to explore that. Because right, if you don't really sit down and think about this, whatever medium that you're in, whether it's physically meeting you or social media or printed at whatever it is, right, there's no congruency. Suddenly here physically when I see Cheryl, right, she is really hyped up. I see a social media look very emo. You know what I mean? That is it's
Yeah,
very there is a gap in that sense,
there
right?
should be a
So
consistency.
there should be a consistency. If not, right, I always say it's kind of like a social media catfishing, like, you look once, look one kind on your LinkedIn, but when I see you physically, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't get that vibe at all. So I think it's
But isn't it that
important,
it's pretty common in social media where they like to,
right?
especially I see a lot of the new millennials where they say that, oh, in front they look like
Filters.
this, in Instagram like wow, so wow,
Yeah, but
short
you
and
know what?
everything, oh yeah.
I feel like how long can you maintain that lah, right? How long can you
Mm,
maintain a different facade that way? I think, and
mm,
and this is a question that in the early part of my life, I also ask myself this, right? Like if I would like to maintain a certain look, a certain facade on my social media platforms, and then physically or in person I'm very different. Right? How long can I actually maintain something like this? So I think maybe just start off with identifying 3 adjectives that you want to be seen as. From there,
mm,
right, then you work backwards. So like example, let me just use myself. I think growing up, right, I don't really know why, but a lot of people tell me that the first time they see me, I always look reserved,
mhm,
standoffish, and
mm.
unfriendly. That's the
Oh,
most and I find it very weird. I don't find myself this way, but perhaps it's
yeah.
also my look. Maybe when I don't smile, I have
Mm,
a certain vibe to myself. So knowing that is really the most common thing I hear, and knowing that that's not how I want to be addressed as, I now have to make a very conscious effort to address what are the 3 things I want people to see me as. So for me,
mhm.
because of the line of what I do, my profession, I want to be seen more approachable. That's one of
Yeah,
my adjectives in there. So
yeah.
knowing that is my adjective, right? Work backwards lah. How do I now present myself to be seen more approachable? What colors should I wear? How do I smile? When I come out, how can I act? So all of these little elements, right, have to come in place in that sense. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I think
Sorry,
Lucas has one question here as well, right?
Yes.
What are the
Lukesh.
biggest,
Okay.
most persistent
One
fears
one of
Do
the
you know
biggest and most,
Lucas?
yes, Lukesh.
related to
I want to tell
personality?
people why I know you, but it's okay. Don't worry, we'll see for another time. Actually, Lukesh is one of my clients actually.
I
So
see.
yeah, one of the biggest and most persistent fears related to personal branding is that it takes over your life, becomes your full-time job.
Full-time
Betul
job.
ke? Oh, yeah. I think that is really why you have to be consistent and you have to have your genuine element in it lah. Like I think looking at myself, right? Even though I look unfriendly, I know for a fact that I'm a very approachable person. I know I'm pretty friendly. It's just my face, like I can't help it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's in that sense, right? My true core is really the fact that I am an approachable person. Now, how do I get that to be reflected out? So when it comes from that aspect of it, right? It is not going to be very tiring for you because this is truly how you are. Because
Yeah.
as an opposite, right? Let's say today, right? I suddenly tell myself, right, from today onwards, you know what? One of my adjectives is I want to look more elegant. I want to be seen as someone who's very elegant, very atas, right? But that's not me.
Mm.
So I'm gonna find it really tiring to maintain that. You know what I mean?
Because it's
Yeah,
not part of who you are, right? It
right.
doesn't
Yeah,
naturally.
correct. So when it's not really part of who you are, then yes, I agree with what Lokesh says. It takes over your life. It's so consuming. You have midway, you probably have like some identity crisis. Oh my God, who am I? Like, you know?
Dual personality, you start be
Yeah,
confused whether am I this or am I that? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, exactly. So I think in that sense, have those three adjectives, but make sure that these three adjectives are really also part of your core values, something that you truly believe in, and not something that everyone else tells you that you need to be like that, you know? So that's
Mm,
really important. Lah. Mm.
good. Yeah, that's interesting.
So
Right.
we're moving on to our next section. All right.
Right.
Yay.
And again, it's something new. We've never done it before. Ranuka, today is a lot of new firsts for us.
Woohoo!
Right?
Okay,
So
okay.
what we wanted to do when I was talking to Ranuka about this show, right? I said we want to do something different, right? And we want to approach branding and image building in a different way. So we said, hey, why not we do some live profiling? Okay, so I
Right,
posted about this a couple of days ago on Facebook as well on LinkedIn, and we had a few takers. So I
right.
just want to bring in one of the guests. She's going to join us on our platform right now, Miss
Okay,
Ashwina Pari. She's a final
okay.
year student in Inti
Oh,
International University, and we're going to get her to come in and we're gonna let the expert okay talk to
Do
her
the talk.
about her LinkedIn profile, and as you guys are listening, right, it would be great for you to pay attention so you can also apply the same thing on your profile. Okay, and if anybody else wants to join us as well, please leave your link with your number, and then I will send you the link to join us today. Okay, if not, we'll
okay.
go into the questions. All right, so I'm going to add Ashwina now.
Sure.
Yay.
Hi Ashwina, welcome. Can you hear
Hello.
us?
Hello,
Hello.
Hello.
hello,
Hi.
hello everyone.
Hi,
Yes,
hi. So congratulations, it's your final year. One more year to go.
yes, thank you very
Personally,
much. Yeah,
I like working
actually,
more than
just
studying
one
lah.
more
So
semester.
sorry, come again.
Can you all hear me? Can
Yes,
you
yes,
all hear me?
Yeah.
loud and clear. All right. So
I think it's the connection.
right. So I think what we're gonna be doing is like what Cheryl mentioned, we're gonna do a very simple life profiling session. So I'm gonna be asking you some questions, Ashwina, and you can tell me whether this is comfortable for you to answer or not. If not, then we'll ask another question then. Okay. I think it's just more for me
Sure.
to kind of understand you as a person, right? So tell me a little bit about what you study. What did you study actually?
I'm currently majoring in public relations.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
when you graduate next year, what do you see yourself being in? What industry? What's ideally? I mean, like let's take the market situation aside, but let's say right now, if I give you your ideal career, your ideal situation, right? What would it be?
I have actually worked as a PR agency internship last time. So I actually like my job and I see myself continuing the job like later on when I graduate as well. So yes.
Okay. So if I were to ask you, right, what's the most common thing that you hear people saying about you, like in terms of first impression, the first time they see you, what's the most common thing that you have heard people saying, mentioning like, oh, Ashwina, when I first saw you, I felt that you were what? What is the most common adjective you hear?
Most of the time they always say I look very bubbly, I'm always a very smiling face. Yeah, that's what I always hear from people.
Do you like that comment?
Yeah, I take it. I like it. I mean,
You like it?
you see me smiling all the time as well. Yeah.
Do you feel that that comment speaks about who you feel you truly are?
Um, Not really,
Okay,
but because I have obviously we all show one side of ourselves. We don't show
right,
the other side. So, but I still like it. That's one part of my personality.
right. So, oh, Irina, is Irina your friend? Irina says that she feels that you're friendly. Okay,
Yes, yes. Arena is my classmate.
so if let's say you feel that, feeling that people say that you're bubbly, you're friendly is the most common thing you hear, and you find that, yeah, okay, I'll take it. Now, let me ask you, if it was really up to you, what is the one adjective that you want to be described as? And think about it from a perspective of your career in the future. When you go for an interview, example, when the interviewer first sees you, right, Ashwina, what do you want the interviewer to think in
Yeah.
their mind?
I'm someone who can do work. Like I
Okay,
am responsible. I can take up job. I can do
right,
something. And I'm not only very playful just because I'm cheerful. I
right.
can
So
be serious at the same time.
you want to be taken seriously, and I think the word that we're seeing here, based on what you're explaining, is you want to be seen as being trustworthy, right? Someone that's very trustworthy, that
Yeah.
people can empower you with projects, people can empower you with jobs, even though you're a fresh graduate, right? So being seen as trustworthy,
Yes.
being taken seriously. So with these kind of adjectives, right, then you now work backwards. You now have to understand, right, if you want to be taken seen this way, what are some of the image aspects that you can actually think about? So I think the first thing, if I can look at it, right, I did, they gave me your LinkedIn profile a while ago. So I had some time to look at your LinkedIn profile. And I think it's also very important for me to just share with you what I think, right? I think the color red is really nice. It's a very powerful color. But sometimes you also need to think about the fact that it might be a bit overbearing. So I would say it's not so much about just the colors, but maybe the fit of how your clothing is, the way how you stand. So when you're standing with one hand like that, right, it seems like it is very forced out of you. Because it's like that, right? I remember your hand is one hand like that, and you're a bit on the side, correct? I'm not looking at your profile right now, but this is what I remember, lah. And
Yes,
it's
yes.
you in a red and a high neck, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
So
correct.
I think few things is that perhaps you want to look into your posture, be a bit more natural in terms of your profile picture. Secondly, right, I feel that your picture is a bit too far off. You might want it to be a bit nearer so that people can see your face. Because Ashwina, when I look at your profile picture, the reason why I can remember so clearly what you wore and what color and what your posture is, I forgot how you look. This is a very honest thing that I want to tell you. Because everything else overbad this
Okay.
really. And the focus should be here. I need to remember you. I don't need to remember that you wore a red top. You get what I mean? Though I like the top,
Yes, yes.
red is one of my favorite colors as well. I'm just saying that you wanna think of all these aspects, yeah. Um, the fact that you want to look more professional, you want to look more trustable, be taken seriously. Color is important, but everything has to match together. So you want to just have a little bit of it, not all. Yeah, you don't want to be seen as trying too hard. If that makes sense. Does that sound helpful to
Yes, yes.
you?
Will basically
Yes,
giving
yes,
a
it
more
does.
close up of her face be helpful?
Yes, definitely. I think what I see with Ashwina's one is that I love the fact that she's trying with strong colors. I think that's a very good point, because I think when you're someone who has a very friendly face, I see that with her. The minute she got up, right, I already feel like, oh wow, so friendly, so cute, very cute. And I like the fact that she used strong colors to kind of overcome that part. Good job. But I think it's just maybe because the picture is too far off. So it's the whole the whole half of your body already. You want to come a little bit nearer, then it will be perfect. You get what I mean? Yeah. So you don't have to have that posture and all that. It's
Yes,
just more of it's a nearer face. Yeah. But stronger colors is fine. I think maybe if you ask me, I would have gone with a contrasting look. That means I would have gone with maybe a blazer, which is a dark color, maybe a navy blue, maybe, and if you like red, then a red blouse inside. So there's a contrast of color. Remember, when it's a high contrast, you become more memorable. So people remember you better. Yeah. So
Alright.
these are the few things. I think another thing that I also wanted to share with you is, I guess in some ways, when I looked at your picture, I also kind of knew that you were young because of your hairstyle, because of how your style of hair, the way your makeup is. I think those
The way
little
she
things,
tied
right?
her hair, yeah.
The way she tied her hair, like right now, the way how you tie it. So it's all these very little subtle things, but it's just more of like, I just want to let you know this is how I feel from an image consultant's perspective, looking at your picture. But it's I feel that you are definitely a lot better than many of the other profiles I've seen. That's the real thing I'm telling you. But it's just more of like, there are little things that you can definitely improve on. Yeah.
So Ranukka, are we talking about just
Yes,
LinkedIn,
thank you very much, Ms. Ranukka.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
kind of profiles?
Right. Yes. I'm sharing more towards the LinkedIn side, but I think whatever that we spoke about just now in terms of the color coordination, your
Yes.
hairstyle, your entire posture of things, right? I think it's also something that is applicable when you go to an interview session. Because I think it's good that at least, right, I'm really glad that you are immediately able to identify what are the top two things you want to be known as. You want to be known as someone trustable, taken seriously. So from there, right, you now understand exactly how to dress yourself in some ways. So it's the color, it's the fit. So remember, you want to look a bit more stronger. Yeah.
So Lukesh says, do you think she will look good in bright pastel orange color? You like orange, is it, Lukesh?
Okay.
Same like you, Cheryl. Same like you.
Okay, I personally don't think orange is probably the color for her. But again, right, I think what Lukesh is trying to ask is also in terms of skin tone, right? Because we also understand that different skin tones, there are also different color profiles that you can go with. I would say if, let's say, Ashwina tells me today, like, hey, actually orange is my favorite color, then I would say that, yeah, okay, you can totally wear orange, but probably we have to look into the shade and hue of that orange, whether it's something that still suits your skin tone or not. That's one. The second thing is also, does orange really help you with your end goal here? You want to look serious, you want to look professional, you want to look trustable. Does orange really help you with that? A question there, Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
think it
orange is,
reflects towards her bubbliness part of it
yes.
more.
Yeah. So orange is probably a color, like, let's say example, yeah. If today someone had a very super, some people, they have a very stern face, and maybe they are a kindergarten teacher. I'm giving you an extremity here, lah, okay? And they teach kids, right? So they need to look a bit more cheerful. Then perhaps I would tell them, hey, you know what? Wear something a little bit more bubbly, like wear orange, wear pink, wear something a bit more fresh, bright, so that, you kind of appeal, you give people that impression. You get what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's just a few things.
I think colors are very important, definitely. I feel like when I wear black, I look tired and I look dull and I look surprisingly, because I always thought like, oh, black should be good with everything, right? But
Right.
it's true. Sometimes when you wear certain colors, I feel like my face looks brighter because
Right.
again, I don't
Yes.
really wear very much makeup. I just maximum
Yeah.
is lipstick, I don't wear anything else. So sometimes
Right.
it's too hard. When you look at certain colors, we have certain understanding of what colors work, and like Ashwina mentioned earlier, right? Safe colors, but safe colors
Yeah.
work for you as well.
Yeah. I think it's also important to note it's not just colors, but it is
Yeah.
also fabric. So example, right? If you
Yes,
say
agree.
if you say let's take an example of black, right? Because we say that black right now it's a difficult color to carry, and it also kind of dulls you down. But let me now give you an example. If it's black and it's silk, it has a very reflective surface.
Reflective.
Now it looks very elegant, right? Now it looks
Yeah.
expensive, right? And it
Yeah.
makes you look very different. I always feel like it's my killer dress, right? When I wear something that's very reflective and it's black, I feel powerful in it, right? So I think it's not just about the color, but we also think about the material. So in an opposite spectrum, let's say it's black and it's linen, huh? Very, very dull color. Even though it's
Very
black, but the
heavy
material,
oriented.
yeah, it's very heavy. It doesn't help you that much in your skin tone. So I think about these two aspects. It's not just the color, but it's also the material. Yeah, that's very important. Lokesh, I
That's,
look forward to seeing you in pink tomorrow. Yeah,
yeah,
take a
it says
picture and show me. Yeah.
we have a
And
question
I
here.
think Tracy. Yeah.
Tracy says, do you suggest that people with warm toned skin wear high contrast and stronger color clothes?
I don't think the answer is yes in that sense because okay, before I share whether it's a yes or no, Tracy, you also want to be very sure that you are warm tone, not because you feel that you're warm just because you're tan. Yeah. So
Warm
that's
tone.
one
Yeah,
of the
that's
things.
a good point.
Yeah, so be very sure that you know your warm tone. Someone, a qualified consultant told you you're warm tone, not because you saja feel you are. And second thing is high contrast. Yes, definitely, I still agree on that. But stronger colors. Now, the definition of stronger, what is stronger to you? Because I think when it comes to warm tone, if you're coming into this conversation of warm tone, cool tone, and whatnot, right? I think it's not really about stronger colors, but rather colors that complement you. So I think warm tone people, they look better in colors that are a bit more earthy, right? A bit more
Mm-hmm.
brown tones,
Brown,
warmer
green.
colors, right? A bit more, yeah, green. Actually, green, many cool tone, there's also green, warm tone, there's also green. So the
Ah,
common
yeah.
perception is that blue means it's cool tone. No, actually, every color has a warm and cool spectrum to it. It's just that
Mm,
depending. I give you an example. Let's say just now you mentioned green, right? So emerald green is cool,
mm. Cool.
but army green or olive green is warm. So you see
Yes,
that's the
olive
two,
green is warm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there is different colors to it. So for Tracy's question, I think high contrast is for everybody, not just warm tone. Stronger colors, I think I would probably say not stronger colors, but warmer colors. Yeah, that's a better answer to it. And
Mm.
also be very sure that you're warm tone lah. That's one of my suggestions.
Okay, I have another question. This is something that I think I've been told when I was working in the corporate last time by my boss. He told
Oh,
me that everyone in their closet must have a white button-down professional, like a button-down shirt, a white
right.
button-down shirt must have. Which because at that time I really don't have. So he
Okay.
was emphasizing to say that everyone must have one. So what do you think about that?
I don't have one. So,
I did not have one. I was forced to buy one, and then I wore it for one
oh,
occasion, and I never wear it again. And it's stuck in my
I
closet.
think,
So there was a question
right.
I need to ask.
I I think that
Yeah.
statement is very much more applicable to men. I think for men,
Mm,
definitely. I think for men, whenever I bring this topic up for guys, right, I always say that the most expensive shirt you should have in your closet is that white shirt. Yeah,
ooh.
it's not other shirt, it's that white shirt. It has to be
Mm,
the most best quality because it's white. It is, it's really just there, right? So I think
mm.
it's most important. But for women, right, I mean, I might be maybe an outlier here, but I'm going to just say I don't have a white button down shirt lah. I'm just going to say that. I don't think it's a staple. I think it's
Mm,
a nice to have, of course, again, because it's white and it's a shirt, you want to also make
mm.
sure the quality is good lah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel that maybe he's using it based on his own experience, lah. But he
Maybe
was
it's him
putting
lah.
like
Yeah.
it as a must for us. So end up I bought one and I wore it for that one occasion he asked me to, and it's that
Oh.
there in my closet right now. I'm like I do not know what to do with it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
I
I think
think Ashwina has another question for you. Ashwina,
right. What
Um, what kind of hairstyle will it make a difference to the look?
I think it's a very good question, but to be very honest, I wouldn't have a very true answer for you at this moment because hairstyle, right, is not something that I can tell you, okay, cut it short like mine, then you look professional. No, it has nothing to do with it. I think it has a lot to do with your face shape. And the thing is, right, like I always tell a lot of fresh grad ladies, women out there, right, like it's all about really researching it out yourself and understanding what exactly looks good. So I think at this moment right now, it's good for you to maybe take some time to look through, Google it out, go to Pinterest, find out some hairstyles, and you yourself, right, when you look at these hairstyles, think about it. When you see a woman with a lady with this hairstyle, does she look professional to you? It's also your perception, right? If she does, then maybe to you that's professional, then that's good enough. So I think to me that's the answer. I think it's a very frequently asked question I get. Like every time I get into a show, I will always get someone asking me like, what hairstyle would look good on me? What's what based on this, right? And I always say that it really is really hard for me to tell you right now because there's so much that I have to understand, right, before suggesting that. But I can just tell you that Ashwina, perhaps this is a good homework for you to also think about in terms of your hairstyle. I think you have the color part done well. Again, I applaud you. I love it when people wear strong colors. I think it's really powerful. But I just think the two things that I can see here that you can definitely think back again is maybe the the size of your profile picture on LinkedIn. And also secondly, maybe you want to look into hairstyle as well, like what kind of hairstyles you feel will make you look more matured. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ashwina. So we'll be letting Ashwina go right now. Thank you so much for
Bye.
joining
Let it
us.
go.
Bye.
Let it go.
Thank you,
Bye.
ladies. Bye
Let it
bye.
go.
Bye bye.
Thanks so much, Ranukka, for doing this live profiling session. I thought it was
Most
awesome.
welcome.
We have a lot
Yeah.
of questions coming in. Lukesh is a very interesting person. He says he thinks I don't need makeup. So does this mean I can just wear my cheerful and energy and that would be
Exactly.
sufficient? Can throw
He
all my
wants
makeup away?
he wants coffee lah. That's what he wants lah, Cheryl.
Okay,
I
so we
think
have
Kayasmi has a question.
yeah.
Oh, Swati
Okay.
first.
Swati has
Okay.
a question. She says, I always tend to play it safe with the colors in my wardrobe, adding some color yellow, maroon, army green over the past year. Now I'm confident enough to start adding prints. Any must have or tips for beginners?
Right. Wow. I think lovely. I think it's really nice that you're adding colors. I love that. One of the tips that I think I would want to share with you is the rule of three. I always tell people that are starting to incorporate prints and colors into their wardrobe, right? Always make sure that in your entire wardrobe, whether entire attire, right, whether it's from your shoes, your dress, your blouse, and whatnot, right, to have at least just only three colors there. Because when you have just three colors, three elements there, it makes your entire look more polished and it's an easier and safer way. Of course, like some people will come and tell me things like, hey, no lah, sometimes I see celebrities, they do pattern blocking. That means your top is floral, your pants are striped, right? To me, like that is really a creative expression. If you're confident enough to carry that, please
Yes.
go right ahead. I'm not even confident to do that, but if you are, please go right ahead. I think there's no right or wrong. But if you're starting out, I would always say just have three things lah, three colors on you. I think that's good enough. But the three colors, right? If let's say you're carrying print, like let's say right now I'm wearing a animal print that has brown and beige to it. So these are already two colors, brown and beige, and maybe I'll just have black pants. So that's three colors there, if that makes sense.
Does this include earrings?
Yes. So I would always say this again, right? This is a beginner tip, meaning to say it's your first time incorporating colors. Let's say right now
Or
for
you're
Xiao San,
just like
first time, right?
experimenting, right?
Yeah. So you want to just add small things in first, three first. Then slowly, okay, now you know already. Okay, now you know what works, what doesn't work for you. Then you start being a little bit crazier, right? So baby steps lah, just take baby steps.
Mm.
Yeah.
We have another comment by Kayatri. Kayatri says, I read and wearing glasses may give you an impression that you're smarter. Xiao San, do you feel smarter? It was a study actually. What's your take
But
on
do you
that? Do
know
we look
that?
smarter?
You know what?
But do you know that there's actually a study as well that says in a Japanese culture, they actually
Yeah.
discourage women from wearing glasses because they say that wearing glasses makes them very unapproachable. It makes
So
them
that
feel like
Wow.
now?
as if
I
they're
think
very stern.
I
Yeah.
think to this question, right? I suppose in some cultures, if I'm not mistaken, South Asians, right, where
Yeah.
when you wear glasses, it makes you look smarter. I don't. I would say I believe that there is such a study. Do I really feel that? I think yes and no, because right now when it comes to glasses, right? Again, because I studied optometry, it's also one of my
Yeah.
my old flames lah, right? My old flames. Does it really make you look smarter? I think yes and no. It really depends on the style of it lah. Because right now there's so many different styles of eyewear out there.
Yeah.
If you're choosing something that's classic, then yes, perhaps so. But on top of that, right, I just want to highlight a few very important elements when it comes to glasses. Okay, first things first, right? Most of us here are short-sighted. What does short-sighted means? You can't see far, you can
See from
see near,
far.
right?
Yes.
Right. So when you're short-sighted, right, the lens that you're wearing, right, ultimately minimizes your eyes. It has a minification aspect to it, which means whenever you wear glasses, your eyes look a little bit smaller than what they are. And also means when you wear glasses, it makes you look a lot more tired. So what I'm trying to allude here, right, is for women, especially if you're wearing glasses, don't think you wear glasses means you don't wear makeup. Yeah. If you want to wear glasses, you probably have to put a little bit more makeup. That's what I'm trying to say. Because why I want to say this is that I have a lot of friends around me who say that, today is my no makeup day. I'm just going to wear glasses. I'm like, oh my God, you know that if you wear glasses, you have to wear more, right? So it's just something that I want
So
to
do they
just share
put
out.
makeup more on the eye part then? Because you're
Yeah,
saying
because
Yeah,
that
you
it
can't see,
minimizes
right?
the size
Like
of
you
the
correct.
can't
eye.
see.
So I think it's not about the eyeshadow or eyeliner or whatnot. I'm just talking about like color
Yeah.
correcting. Because when you're wearing glasses, as I said, that it makes you look a bit more tired. The under eye area, right? Perhaps you want to kind of conceal that area a little bit. You don't have to. I understand because some people like for me, my prescription is pretty high. So if you're asking me not to wear contacts and doing the eyeliner is it will take a miracle. Okay, it cannot happen, right? But I'm just saying that if I'm wearing glasses, because sometimes I do, I would make sure that my concealer, my under eyes are definitely going to be tanned to, and I wear a brighter lipstick just to make myself look a bit more fresher because I know the glasses will kind of tone me down. Do I look smarter because I wore glasses? I would like to think so, lah, right? But again, it really depends on the style. Really depends on
What
the style.
about the frame? Because I play around with glasses a lot, and
Right.
if my students notice me, they'll realize that actually I have few types of glasses. I think Cheryl also noticed. Sometimes I accidentally
Yeah.
forgot to switch my glasses, so they'll say, "Miss, you are wearing you look different today." So it's actually my glasses, but this is usually the glasses I wear when I teach. So it's a
Right.
gold frame and it's a thin
Right.
one and it's a pretty large frame, so that my expectation is by right the large frame will make my face look smaller lah, which I don't know whether it make it true or not lah. But I do sense that a lot of first impression I hear from my students is usually they say that I look a bit more strict. So I do not know whether is
Right.
it the glasses that make it look that way or not. But yeah.
Perhaps so, perhaps so. But I
Mhm.
would say that when you wear oversized frames like these kinds, right, it also kind of,
Yeah.
to me, lah, maybe my perception is that it makes you look very much younger, which is why remember
Ah.
before we started this
Yeah.
live thing, I asked you, Xiaosan, how old are you actually? And when you told me your age, right, in my
You're
heart,
quite
I was
shocked.
like, oh, okay. I did not expect that it was that age, you know?
Oh, you cover it up pretty well because you don't look
Okay.
shocked at all. I was like, okay, it must be like, it must
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, so I think it's like again because of the style, like both Cheryl and you, your glasses are what I call oversized style, right? It's bigger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely because so it is a fashion statement, but does it really help you to look smarter? I would hope not lah. I think both of you are smart enough. I don't think you need glasses to help you with that, but
I
I'm
don't think
just
I need glasses for that. Yeah. To me,
yeah,
I think wearing
exactly.
glasses is more like a handicap lah, because we cannot see far.
Cannot see.
Can't
By
help
right,
it, right?
can't help it. Yes, exactly.
I
Yeah,
think after this whole period of we are doing a lot of online classes, Xiaosan and I are still teaching online. So probably we have to go and check what our prescription might have gone up because we're sitting in front of the
Yeah.
computer like almost the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
day.
Okay, we
yeah.
can claim. It's okay, we can claim.
Okay,
Always
guys,
get your eyes checked.
we are coming towards the end of the show, so we still have maybe one or two questions left. So if you all have any questions, please keep it coming fast because we're going to be ending very soon. So there's one question that I want to ask actually is how do we express our personality in clothing that we wear? Because we talked about earlier different colors and things like that, right? So does that color, that means if I am this kind of skin tone, does it mean I have to wear this color? Is there a way for us to express our personality in clothing that we wear in terms of those colors? Like maybe like you said earlier, right? Your favorite color is blue. Do you insert that blue, or maybe there's a certain color that makes you? Because in different stages of our life, in our career, we might
Right,
want different things, right? Like you said, the personality that you want to show. Like when you're
right,
a fresh graduate, you want to see that you're capable, right? And maybe now
right.
I've come to a point where I think people know that I'm capable, right? I want people to find me, say I'm doing training or being interactive, right? I want people to find me approachable and fun. I mean, they're talking about being interactive, and if you don't look very interactive, why would I want to? You get what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
how
yeah.
do we
Understand.
express that personality in what we wear?
Okay, so I think first thing is that if you talk about colors in this context, right? Like everybody has a set of colors that really suits you. It's what we call color analysis, right? So you have the warm. It's not just warm and cool. We even divide it into like different seasons and whatnot. But that's a story for a different time, lah. But I'm just saying that everybody it has a set of color tones that would suit you. However, now looking at these color tones, you have the orange, the reds, the blues, and greens down. You need to understand, like, right at this season that you're in right now, what kind of personalities do you want to actually have people thinking of you, and then choosing the color from there. So that's the color element in terms of your dressing. But having said that, right, I always say that there is three things that I always look into when I advise people in terms of dressing based on your personality. Number one is always the fit of your dressing, your
Yeah.
fit. What kind of fit will look best on you, and what kind of industry or what profession do you do, right? From there, right, I will kind of alter a little bit in terms of the fit, whether you want to wear it a little bit more dramatic because you're in a creative industry, or do you want to wear it very tailored because you're in a more conservative. So that's one. Second is color, as we mentioned, and the third one is really the fabric, the material that I play around with. So I would say that personality, expressing your personality, right, can be done in many forms. But if I were to give one advice to the viewers here, right, the easiest way is to do some research on people, maybe celebrities or people that you know here around you, that carry a certain quality that you also resonate with. Example, some people tell me, right, I want to look more elegant. Then I'll ask them, elegant like how? Elegant like Kate Middleton? Is that your perception of elegant? They'll say, yeah. I want to look just something like her. So at least I now know our understanding of elegance is here. You know what I mean? So using reference points helps you a little bit easier, I think, rather than describing it, because again, right, words like beautiful, words like handsome, elegant, whatever, it's very subjective. It's really up to your own interpretation.
Very
Lah.
true.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as when you go and cut your hair, right? You don't just go there and describe what you want to get your hair cut to the stylist, because it can come out very different. Yeah, you always go with a picture. This is how I want to look. So at least there's a
Oh
guideline.
gosh.
So that's when I feel that way as well when it comes
Okay,
to
I'm
dressing.
a bit. I'm also a bit not very good in that. Usually when I go and get my hair cut, I always tell the person, I say, just cut
Yeah.
something that suits my face. That's it.
Um, that's if you trust him lah. If you trust him or
If
her,
not, it's
that's
a
great lah.
dangerous thing to
If
do.
not, it can
Yeah,
be.
I know.
It's a
It's a
story of
dangerous thing
how.
to raise a risk, right?
Yeah, it's a story of how my hair became short. So I used to have very long wavy hair. And why it's short is because I did that, and I had to cut it short lah after that, because
No choice, right?
yeah, I had no choice.
Do me as
Yeah.
you will, do whatever haircut you want, and then
Oh man.
you
That's why
Yeah. So
I
when
usually
I wore
tell.
my glasses back, I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? And had to cut my hair short lah. So that's how it happened.
we have a question from the audience. Does graffiti,
I
and what it
actually
means by graffiti, or any type of design make a difference to the look, or safer option is always plain color?
Oh no, I actually feel that patterns are one of those aspects that I always encourage people to have it in. But again, yeah, when you talk about patterns or lace or any of these kind of textures on your fabric, right, you always want to really look at it and be very careful when you choose. Because example, floral. Floral, right, you have to incorporate with the material. If you go with floral and it's a cotton material, it looks super duper casual. So, and if it's a very flowy material, very chiffon, it also looks too casual. So, if you're someone who wants to go for floral, example, go for a structured material. So, these are a lot of elements that you want to go for. So, if you want to wear prints and patterns, you can, but it has to look very tasteful, and the material has to support the look lah. Yeah.
I have another question. I used to have this classmate of mine that she tends to always wear clothes that matches the color of her accessories. So, like for example, if today she's wearing green, she'll have green earrings, she'll have green handbag, and she'll have
Everything
green
green, green,
shoes.
green,
And
green.
it's
Yeah,
the
there's so
same
many.
type of green. It's like, how the hell can you get all three colors the
I
same
know,
color?
right? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but somehow it looks okay for her. I don't know, maybe because I'm used to seeing her that way. That
Yeah,
all
what you
Yeah.
think
the
about it's matchy,
matching.
matchy, everything.
Like
It's
bags and her
the
shoes and the accessories are all the same color. So I'm like, oh, quite
uh,
pretty fascinating.
I think it's they call it the monochromatic look, right? So it's all the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
I think the older school of thoughts, yeah, is that you want to get your bag and shoe matching in color. I think we have gone
Yes.
past that like way long already lah. So never, I have never ever worn everything the same. In fact, if I'm in all black, my accessories are never black. My bag is never black lah. So I don't think you should do that. I think it's great to have some elements, but if you're worried about the color clash and all that, just have that rule of three lah. I think that can really help you in some ways.
Mm,
Yeah. Wow,
okay.
the same color
Interesting, right?
really cracked me up. I don't know why. I just
Yes,
thought of
serious.
camouflage. Like you can really hide by the bushes, nobody can see.
But I find it shocking that wow, she can actually get the same color
Yeah,
for
hey.
the three. it is really a lot of research she must have done. I'm quite surprised actually. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
coming to our next question, right?
Yes.
If there was one thing you wish you knew about image branding as a young professional yourself at the start of your career, what would it be?
I think definitely in terms of when I went for my interview, I don't think my old boss is listening to this. I hope not, but let me just share. Um, so
Disclaimer,
I think
disclaimer.
yeah, I think what had happened was that I did not know it was I have always been that person where I valued my level of intellect. I feel that I'm not a very stupid person. I'm okay lah. I'm quite smart lah, right? So I always feel that that is really my strong point, and that should really carry me far lah. So it's my substance. I really don't care so much about how I look. So I went for my first interview looking that way. I remember not wearing any makeup. I was wearing glasses. I was wearing something a little bit oversized. And I could tell the minute I walked in there that my boss was not impressed, definitely. And I don't really know why. I think it was really the first few sentences that when we went into the conversation that he started realizing that, wow, okay, there's something different there. But had he not given me that chance, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been you know, uh, employed and whatnot. So I think looking back, right, I wish I knew a little bit more about the importance of image and branding from an earlier stage. I think um, sometimes it's like this, right? When in uni, right, sometimes maybe lecturers don't find it as something that's important for students to have, especially for my industry, right? At that time where I was in, demand was definitely higher than supply. So when we went out, no matter how you look, you would get a job. Okay. So you definitely get a job. So it's by default. So I think because of that, the emphasis of image and brand wasn't that strongly cultivated in my time and in where I was, right? But I think that it's really very important, and I'm really glad that you guys are paying some attention to this for your students, especially,
Yeah.
so that when they come out, right, it is already with a good fun foundation, right? So when you actually start climbing into your career ladder, it becomes easier because slowly, right, like what you mentioned, Cheryl, different phases of life, you want to be seen differently, right?
Differently.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and when you have that in mind, right, you want to be seen differently, you also now have a skill set of how to tweak it differently as you go along. So I think that's really important.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're coming down to our last question. All right. So we
I
don't want
feel
to
Hey.
like
make it for too long.
Cheryl and Self, I feel like I'm in a beauty pageant competition. It's like world peace.
World peace.
Okay.
World peace. World peace.
I know.
Okay. If there's one advice that you would leave the audience today that's listening in, right? Just one advice that they could implement, say tomorrow they can start. Because we talk about doing things little by little, right? What is one advice you would leave them in building their brand image they can start tomorrow?
Wow, to start tomorrow, yeah. I think maybe the first step, like I don't know whether you can start changing it tomorrow, but I think the first step that I really would like to emphasize is that begin with an end in mind. Like I know I sound like a broken recorder when I keep saying that. Think about what the impression is you want to create. Like when I say that, I mean like really think about it, because like you might think that you want to be seen professional simply because people around you, your peers, seem to also want to be seen professional. Do not care about what other people think around you. Those are just white noise. Really look into yourself and think about what are you, what's your value, and what exactly do you want to showcase to people. Really think about it, and then it becomes easier for you to be consistent in terms of your image and brand. Yeah, I think that's my biggest take home message. And I think I speak from experience, seeing a lot of people. Whenever I do personal coaching sessions with clients, right? Like the first hour, everyone seems to, I realize for women, right, it's always, I want to seem elegant. I'm like, what is up with the elegant? But as you go down the path of speaking more, I realized actually no, elegant is not really her thing. She's more bubbly, she's more fun, she's quirky. So why is it that you want to always conform to the social norms of wanting to look elegant just because it is something normal in your industry? Why though? Right? Be different, be unique, but
Yeah.
do it tastefully. Yeah.
So I think
Yep.
it's about really asking reflective questions and not stopping at the very first question, because usually the first question doesn't really tell you very much, like you said, right? I want to be professional, but why? You have to keep on asking more and more before you can find
Correct,
out, right?
correct. Yeah, deep dive into it because chances are, especially for the younger crowd that's listening up here, I think chances are you're always conforming to a certain adjective because of the social norm.
Yeah.
peer, yeah, or the industry norm you think you are. Oh, I'm studying accounts, therefore I have to look super duper like professional slash nerdy. No lah, who's saying that, right? So yeah.
I think that's a very good point, right? Because when I started off in the industry, and I started as a lecturer very young when I was in my 20s, right? Early 20s. I was teaching certificate, of course, don't worry, I wasn't teaching degree students.
That was
But
2 years ago, is it, Cheryl? 2 years
I
ago,
wish.
right?
I wish. But you see, when you're talking about dressing, right? And when I joined my industry, I was like the youngest. Like everyone I was telling you, Ranuka had like white hair. That was the situation, and like I was like someone who just came out of university. And what I used to do, not the best thing. I didn't know you back then. I wish I did, right? But I used to have a blazer, and I used to buy old clothes. Do you know what that means? I don't mean like the clothes is old. I buy old lady clothes. Like I buy clothes to make me look older. I know it's very weird.
Oh,
But because of the
okay.
industry I was in, lecturing is supposed to be people who are much older. And of course, I never used to reveal my
Mm.
age. I don't reveal my age till now. Yeah. But I used to dress old. I'm not kidding you. And people are like, why are you so old fashioned? I said, I got to look old because if not, people will think I'm like a kid trying to teach them and they will have,
Oh, I know, I know.
so
You had a grandma face, lah, Cheryl.
yes, I had
I
to,
know, I know.
adjustments,
Everyone goes through
everything
that.
put together.
Yeah, everyone goes through that. I think even for me, in the start of my career, I also kept on wanting to look older. I think
Older.
it's just a very normal thing, but I guess you're right. Like it's really we all wish that we knew that back then, right? I think it's
Yeah.
just more of right now with the future generation. I think it's also for me a social responsibility to kind of advocate that. That's why sometimes in my LinkedIn posts for the Gen Zs, the millennials. Actually, millennials not that young lah, to be honest. Millennials around our age, right? But the Gen Zs
Yes.
lah, I mean, to really have this
Don't
early
tell them
on.
our age.
We're about the same age, I think.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them the
Yes,
truth.
yes. We are no.
Yeah.
We are Gen Z borderline millennial lah.
Yes,
Borderline lah.
yes. Close, close, close. Very close indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good save. That's a good
Plus
save.
minus, plus
I
minus.
hope they are not paying attention. So, Radhika,
Yeah.
as we're ending, right? Can you tell us how do we get in touch with you if this is
Oh,
something I want to find out, right? How do I do? And like I said earlier, the myths and the truths we're looking at earlier, a lot of people assume that image consulting is very expensive. Image consulting is something I can't afford, unless I'm way up there, right? So how do I
right,
find out more about this from you? Like, do I
right.
contact you?
Yep.
How?
So you can add me up on LinkedIn and drop me a PM. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm also offering a free 15-minute consultation for viewers that have actually been tuning in for this. And you can just let me know that hey, you found me from the talk show hosted by Cheryl and Xiaosan, and you get a 15-minute free. From there, usually what I do is that I would share with you maybe one or two nuggets of wisdom when it comes to your image and brand, and we can take it from there. If you feel that this is something that you really want to transform and you want to have a change right now, I think especially for some of you that are going through a different phase of your life, you got promoted, you moved jobs, or you're basically in a space of like getting a new
Starting
job,
something
example.
new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
starting something new, you want a fresh start kind of thing. And you don't have time to really help yourself in that aspect, and you don't know where to start. I think the problem is always don't know what you don't know, right?
Yes.
Definitely look
Good
me up.
point.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the most important questions. If you don't know what you don't know, how can you help yourself, right?
True, true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely just let me know. Add me up on LinkedIn. I'll be definitely happy to help you out with anything. So nothing surprises me. Don't worry. So just come open minded lah. Yeah, nothing surprises me, man, guys. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Yeah.
So thank you so much to everyone. We're going to let Ranuka go. She's had a
Yes.
very, very long day. We're so thankful that you
Yes.
came on the show, right?
Yeah, we're so
Because
thankful.
we know
Exactly.
No
you've been on a
worries.
live show from like 5 o'clock, right? Or was it
I know.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
thank
it's
you so
been
much.
a
We're
long
very
day.
we're very glad, and I think we
Yeah.
had a very interesting conversation today. So if you guys
Okay.
want to check out on what Ranuka does, please go on her LinkedIn profile. I shared it in the chat as well. So or you can contact me, Cheryl Rita or say Yi Xiao San on LinkedIn as well, and or messages on Lift as You Rise if you didn't get the link, and we'll connect you with Ranuka Singham. Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. Good
Bye.
Oh
night.
yeah, I forgot
Bye.
one thing.
Oh,
Xiao
What?
San,
What? What? Yes.
sorry, I forgot. I always forgot. Um, Next show. What is the next show about?
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
share with everyone.
Okay, the next show for me series is gonna be episode 10. So to celebrate our 10th episode, yay! 10th episode, we are
Woo!
going to do a very casual discussion-ish kind of we want to discuss anything and everything from the from the sky, seriously. So please join in and throw in your questions if you are dying for us to ask about any topic or to discuss about anything. Me and Cheryl will be there. And if any guests would like to come and join us, please feel free to join us. We will set a specific date and time for our 10 series. So 10 series, yay, people. So we're doing a,
Woohoo!
a, a
Congratulations, guys.
casual conversation discussion for our 10 series. So please do check us out. Please do come
Yeah.
and join us.
And do follow Live as You Rise Facebook and LinkedIn page, yeah? So bye guys,
Yeah.
we are going for good
Thank
now.
you so much. Yay, bye, bye.
This is the
Bye.
goodbye, I'm sorry.